Good morning. I just thought I would show you our new little tree. We planted it last night. It's my crabapple tree. And I really was planning on showing a video of us planting it. But last night, it was at the end of it, I was emotionally, I think, spent and sort of physically. But we went up to get the tree, and it was in an area where we used to live 50 years ago. And so after we bought the tree, we went by the property where my husband had built a little yellow barn. In fact, it was before the tiny house era, but we lived in it. It was very small. I had a toddler, a baby, and later on I got pregnant with my third child, and he was born there. And we always said he was born in a barn, but he really wasn't. But that's where he was when he was a baby. And it was 10 acres, and then my husband built this beautiful, nice home on it. And we lived there until we had our fourth child, and I was 32, and we sold it in May of 1968. And so 50 years ago, in this coming May, and I went back, I knew that the house and the barn and everything on the property had burnt, so it wouldn't be the same. And I took the camera to take a video of that, and somehow you have to turn it on right. So I didn't get it. And it wasn't a going back home feeling because the house was different, but they had built a little yellow barn, but not as cute as ours. But they had painted it yellow, just like our barn had been. Our barn was sort of a Dutch style, and nice memories of living in that little barn, most of them. And anyway, we taught the people that we'd sold it to. The husband had died a few years back, but the wife was still there, and I got to visit with her, and just a little peek inside of the house. But the really neat part about the visit is when we lived there, the neighbor that was up on the hill from us, they had children, 3 children the same as my 3 older children, and they played together, and they became close friends. And somehow over the years we've sort of kept not really good contact, but nice contact. And so we went up and visited them, and that was the very emotional part for me, just seeing them again. And my friend that had lived there, she's a little bit older than I am, I was able to tell her what a nice neighbor she'd been and how much I'd learned from her, and to thank her. And I couldn't believe how the area had grown since we left. But 50 years, a lot of changes come about. It's still a beautiful area, and it's still, because the neighbor had 9 acres, the 10 acres still hadn't been sold off, so there wasn't a lot of houses, but around the other area, it had really grown up. And anyway, I came home with my tree. We planted it. I love the spot we picked to plant it, and I'll show you when it leaves out. So this is how I'm surviving the 80s today.